Have you ever just looked at your digital life and thought, this is pure chaos? You've got bookmarks everywhere, random notes, half-baked ideas scattered across like a dozen different apps. Well, today we're going to talk about how to wrangle that digital mess and turn it into a powerful, organized system for thinking. And to kick things off, let's start with a really surprising story that shows just how high the stakes really are. Okay, so get this. A study on judicial decisions found something that is just wild. The chance a prisoner had of getting parole, it pretty much depended on what time of day their case was heard. So early in the morning, their odds were pretty good, about 65%. But as the day went on, that number dropped all the way to almost zero. And then right after the judges took a lunch break, bam, right back up to 65%. Why? It's simple, really. Decision fatigue. Their brains were just tired, and no became the easiest answer. And look, this isn't just about judges making life-altering decisions. This is about all of us. It's kind of the invisible crisis of living in the digital age. Our brains, for all their amazing power, they just were not designed to handle the constant fire hose of information that's blasted at us every single day. Yeah, this enemy, it actually has a name: cognitive overload. You know that feeling when you have so many tabs open in your mind that you literally can't think straight? That's it. It leads to that same decision fatigue the judges had, or analysis paralysis where you can't make a choice to save your life, and, well, eventually, total burnout. Sound familiar? I thought so. So what in the world is the solution here? The answer isn't to just, try harder or magically get a better memory. Nope. The real strategy is to offload the burden of remembering. It's about building a trusted system outside of our own heads. We've got to build an external mind. And that brings us to this amazing concept of a second brain, an idea made famous by Tiago Forte. Now, the core idea here is so simple, it's almost revolutionary. Your brain is for having ideas, not for holding them. Think about it. It's an incredible processor, but a pretty terrible storage device. So by outsourcing the job of remembering everything, we're not just aiming for more productivity, we're aiming for something much bigger: inner peace. That state the productivity guru David Allen called a mind like water. And the workflow for this whole system, it's beautifully simple. It's called code. First, you capture everything that resonates with you, anything that sparks your interest. Then, you organize that information so it's ready for action. Next, you distill your notes, boiling them down to their absolute core essence. And finally, and this is the most important part, you express your own unique ideas and creations. Okay, you're thinking, but how do you organize all this stuff? With an equally simple system called Bora. It's basically just 4 buckets, and they're sorted by how actionable things are. Projects are the things you're actively working on right now. Areas are your long-term responsibilities, like health or finances. Resources are just topics you're curious about. And the archive, that's for everything that's done or on the back burner. That's it. Simple. Now, the best part is you don't need some crazy complicated software for this. You can build an incredibly powerful system with tools you're probably already using. Let's take Google, for example. Think of Google Keep as your capture zone. It's your digital scratchpad for all those quick, fleeting thoughts. Its whole job is to be fast and frictionless. Then, when one of those little ideas needs room to breathe and grow, you promote it to Google Docs, your structure zone. This is where that raw, fleeting thought gets fleshed out, detailed, and turns into a truly high-value creation. But here's where we get to the crucial twist in the story. There is a dark side to all this organization. There's a point where the very system that was designed to set you free can actually end up trapping you instead. So I really want you to ask yourself this. Is your perfectly organized system a masterpiece of productivity? Or is it maybe just a beautifully decorated cage for your curiosity? Is it a place where good ideas go to be filed away and die? Or is it a place where they actually come to life? And this leads us right into our first major pitfall: the collector's fallacy. This is that seductive, tricky feeling that by highlighting articles, clipping web pages, and saving quotes, you're actually learning. But what we're really doing is confusing the act of collecting information with the much, much harder work of truly understanding it. Your second brain just becomes a museum for other people's ideas. And then there's productivity theater. Oh, this is a good one. This is the performance of being busy. You spend hours color-coding your tags, perfecting your folder structures, creating intricate webs of links between notes, and it feels like work, right? But it's an illusion. It's just managing the system instead of doing the deep, messy thinking that leads to actual breakthroughs. So why do we do this? Why do we perform this productivity theater? A lot of the time, it's because of something called the IKEA effect. It's this cognitive bias where we put a way higher value on things we've built ourselves. The more hours you pour into customizing your perfect, super complex system, the more you fall in love with it, and the harder it is to admit that maybe it isn't actually helping you think better. And here is the real danger. All of these traps, the collecting, the organizing, the constant tweaking, they all lead to a much bigger problem: ideation decay. In our frantic rush to be productive, we jump straight from a problem to an action. We completely skip the most important part: the slow, messy, curious, human process of true thinking. We become biased towards doing way before we've actually thought. So, how do we escape this trap? How do we move from having a rigid system to achieving true synthesis? It's all about finding clarity beyond all that clutter. Let's just bring it all back to the beginning. We have to remember the real goal here. It's not about having the most perfectly organized, aesthetically pleasing note-taking app on the planet. The ultimate goal is inner peace. It's about freeing up your mind to do what it does best: create and have amazing ideas. And to get there, we need a really fundamental mindset shift. Stop thinking of your system as a rigid filing cabinet where a note can only live in one specific folder. Instead, think of every piece of information like a Post-it note. You can slap multiple, flexible labels or tags on it. An idea can be about productivity and psychology and that new project all at the same time. This allows for these dynamic, contextual connections to form instead of forcing everything into one restrictive little box. We can even reimagine that parasystem with a new metaphor: the iceberg of urgency. Think about it. Your projects? They're just the tip of the iceberg, the urgent stuff you can see that's demanding your attention right now. But the real power, the real momentum, that comes from the vast, hidden mass of ice below the surface. Those are your areas and resources. They're the important, long-term knowledge that gives your work buoyancy, slowly and naturally pushing the best ideas up to the surface to become your next projects. So I'm going to leave you with this one final question. I want you to look at the system you have, or maybe the one you're dreaming of building. Is it a pristine, beautiful museum for collecting and cataloging all the world's ideas? Or is it a messy, active, productive workshop for creating your own? Because at the end of the day, the goal isn't just to be organized, it's to be creative. And that choice